Hey guys, this is Christina. It's August 9th, Thursday, 2018. Um, Felt very compelled to make a quick video. I'm not showing myself because it's not a good day. I'd have to put on a lot of makeup and I won't scare anybody. So I'm doing this little video just to encourage some folks in a style that I would be doing a meeting for my office, actually. So, there's a lot of anger and hurt feelings and bitterness on social media timelines, plural, today, because I have, you know, Twitter as well and Instagram, and I'm not sure what exactly is going on. I mean, it's all over the place. So I kind of wanted to share something that God's been dealing with me with in an example, hence the hills in front of you on the screen. Um, an example of how to deal with those emotions. And, number one, the first thing is I can't control other people. I can't control people that say hurtful things or do hurtful things. I can't, control people's reactions to stuff. I can only control me. And I've known that it's a logical thing. I know these things, and yet I still struggle with some anger issues sometimes. And well, I have one in particular that I won't go into details about because it doesn't just involve me. That I deal with a lot. And it's still a struggle for me every single day. And so I kind of wanted to give this, I don't know, analogy, I guess, of what that struggle is and how to deal with it and overcome it a little bit. So, life in general is like, it's more like a mountain, not a hill, but this was too pretty not to put up here. So life is like a mountain. Um, Not necessarily going down, but going up the mountain. Because in reality, it's kind of easy to go down a mountain, right? You may be injured by the end of it, but tuck your knees and you can roll down and get to the bottom pretty fast. But going up is a struggle, especially on foot or if you're on a bicycle or whatever. So we're going to equate life to going up a mountain, and on the top is, you know, the end result. Everything you've accomplished, that prize at the end, excuse me, that prize at the end, um, where you've accomplished everything that you've hoped to accomplish or whatever, where you get to the end and saying, you know what, I'm good, everything was great. Hopefully, prayerfully. But it's going to be harder for you to get to that end, to that prize, um, of fulfilling your life when you've got things in the way. And mountains are not clean, right? They're not as pretty and clean as these hills here. You got boulders sticking out, you got forests, you've got random waterways, and storms come up. And so as you're traveling up your mountain of life, you're dealing with that. You're like, oh, how do I get around this boulder? There's a big crisis, giant boulder in the way. There's no way for me to get around it, or I could plunge to my death. So I got to go over it. How do I do this? Um, oh, the forest is super thick. I don't know if I can get through it. This is going to be tough. But, as you travel, you're not really traveling alone, especially if you're a believer. But there's one thing that in this analogy I need to throw in there is as you're moving up your mountain of life, you're pushing a wheelbarrow. Have that visual, and that's representing your heart. Um, so when ideally, when we give our hearts to Christ, our wheelbarrow we should be fulfilled. There should be no tarnishes on our wheelbarrow. It should be completely empty. There's no load in the wheelbarrow. Um, that is ideally what it's supposed to be. That's what Christ died for our sins and to take these burdens. And what I'm about to tell you, we throw in the wheelbarrow is actually sins as well as these people that are sinning against you. You have sins as well, just like I do. And anger and bitterness are some of those. But as you journey up the mountain and you've got kind of Christ off to the side, and something happens and that storm comes up, or you can't get over the boulder and you're upset about it, um, you tend to pick up a piece of the boulder, and that's your anger, and you throw it in the wheelbarrow and you get across the boulder, but then you come up in the forest and it's getting hard again, and you get another hurt and you pick up a piece of bitterness, which is a small boulder, and put it in the wheelbarrow. And I'm not moving my little thing. So your wheelbarrow gets filled up, and what happens is it gets heavy. So it's harder for you moving up the mountain to that end, to that prize, or whatever that is, for you to be fulfilled in your life. It's harder for you. It's harder than it was before. Because there's always going to be boulders and storms and trees and things in your way that you have to, turn to God and say, hey, help me. What am I supposed to do here? But these things in the wheelbarrow are things we are adding ourselves. And it's just dead weight. So the journey becomes difficult. And so what I want to encourage you to do today, and I'm struggling with it too, and I'm trying to do that it's an everyday thing that I'm working on, but I'm going to encourage you to take the boulders or the giant bricks or whatever it is that you're carrying with angerness and bitterness, and maybe there's some jealousy, or maybe there's just hurt, or whatever it is. I'm going to encourage you to look at Christ and say, help me unload this, and put it at the base of the cross. Because carrying these burdens really isn't your job. He sacrificed to carry those burdens for you. So take the time to work on, I need to let this go. I'm going to unload this huge chip of a boulder that says anger. I'm going to unload this big bitterness one. I'm going to put it here, and I'm going to keep moving up the mountain. And quite honestly, it's hard. It's hard to move forward. And sometimes it means you have to forgive that enemy. That is the hardest thing to do ever. It really is. And it's a struggle I have too. I'm not saying I'm immune to that, but sometimes you're not forgiving them for them, you're forgiving them for you. And the only way to really do that is to let go of the weight out of your wheelbarrow and give it to Christ. So um, I'll leave these for you guys, this verse for you guys, try and help you. You know, it's in Psalm 37:8, and this is the ESV version. It says, refrain from anger and forsake wrath. Fret not yourself. It tends only to evil. I mean, basically it means, hey, stay angry. It's just going to lead you down a dark path. It's going to make things so difficult for you. And so I'm putting this out there because I want you guys to be happy, and I want you to have a fulfilling life. And I don't like it when people hurt you. And, but I want you to be able to move past it and have better days ahead. So, love you guys. Wishing for a better week for you. Just, do the best that you can. And it's a struggle every day, but just take it one step at a time. And then I'm going to say to you what I said to my team. I did a presentation in March for them in the same format, and I made a statement about dealing with difficult people, and I'll say it to you as well. Today, you need to make today better than yesterday. Yesterday is over. Those people are out of your face, whatever it is, but you need to move forward and make every day better than yesterday, every single day. And that is not easy. But if you can strive for that, and I promise you that you'll feel better, if nothing else. And life doesn't get any easier, but you won't take on as much weight and make it worse than it actually is. So I'm encouraging you guys with that. I hope today is better for you and you take that advice, and have a great day, enjoy your week, and have a great weekend.